I guess to start with, to give you an idea of where the report came from, why I decided to look at agriculture. I'm a young Bermudian who just completed a master's degree in environment and sustainable development, and as part of my thesis work, I looked at, part of it was looking at agriculture and the sustainability of agriculture in small island developing states like Bermuda. Came back to Bermuda and looking to further my career in sustainable development, I decided to create research proposals. I put those proposals to some of the environmental groups, and one of the proposals they focused on was agriculture. They thought that was one of the crucial needs of the island in terms of research. So I developed that proposal, and really the report that come out of the research is really it's a summary of the historic and modern challenges facing the agricultural industry. There's been great work been done in the past, both government and non-governmental reports and research and so forth. So what I decided to do was look at those pieces of research that have been done all the way back to the turn of the century, all the way to about 8 years ago, and do an analysis and a summary of those. But also to use primary interviews with the stakeholders themselves, that being farmers, of course, those who are ex-planning officials, and others in the environmental community, to get an idea of where things stand, not just with the industry, but also with agricultural land, because without obviously agricultural land, we have no industry. So I'll just touch on a few of the key findings of the report. The agricultural industry and agricultural land are in a critical state and are fast becoming obsolete. The challenges, the potential collapse of the agricultural industry and the loss of agricultural land posed to Bermuda are significant. While a clear majority of Bermudians still value the importance of agriculture, Bermudians' diminishing appreciation for the agricultural sector has caused it to become undervalued and neglected over time. The financial benefits derived from the development of land in Bermuda continue to place a significant pressure on agricultural land for other uses. Bermudians place little to no value on the bona fide issue of food security. So from those are some of the findings, and again, some of those are based on past and previous reports and studies that have been done, but I think those are critical that I highlighted those today. Some of the recommendations that have come out of the research itself. There needs to be an up-to-date, detailed review of the current use of availability of arable land. Okay, at present we don't have a concrete idea of what's happening with the arable land that we have left, or even the arable land that's in production and not in production. So getting feedback from stakeholders, they feel that this is crucial. Find out what you have, and then you know what you can do with it. Along those same lines, which is a step further, is implement an environmental economic evaluation of agricultural land. And this is along the lines of the work that's already been done on the coral reef system on the island. It was done a few years ago by Dr. Sarkis, and the same thing could be done to do with agricultural land itself. And the reason the suggestion is there is that it would give all of us, not just the government, not just stakeholders, but the general public, a good idea of a dollar value of the services that agricultural land provides to the community. So we think about the food that's produced off of it. That's the one in most obvious first value, but there's other values that we get from it. There's the aesthetic, the amenity values that we talk about as part of the Bermuda image, but there's also environmental values that we derive from agricultural land as well. We also recommend implementing incentives to encourage farmers to continue to cultivate readily available land. Statistics show that there's land out there that's available to farm, or there's land that could be farmed, but it's not being farmed. So it raises the big question: is why is that the case? Is it because the land is too small? Is it not viable, or is it not? Can we not produce anything off of it? But we need to know why that is. And if there's land that can be put into production, let's put it into production. Amend planning policy and legislation to prevent development on any remaining agricultural land. So I think that speaks for itself. And the last one, which is, I guess, fairly close to my heart with my degree in sustainable development, is creating greater community initiatives to encourage community-sponsored agricultural and parish farms. So it's not just talking about farmers, growing more food or producing more from the land, but getting the community, getting the larger Bermudian community involved in farming. It's a cultural and cultural heritage. It's part of our history. So encouraging more people to get back to growing. Everyone's not going to become a farmer, we know that, but encouraging more people to at least appreciate what farming is about and to go out there and do it themselves.